Why is chat broken? I'll fix it. Anyway, Hanaki. Did you know that our souls are connected by fate? What do you know? I'm Yuno Hanaki from production Kawaii's Hanamizuki. Every day something breaks. Every day. Okay, where is the thing? Where is the thing? Where is the thing? There you go. You better now? Looks like it. Hi. Good morning. Have you guys had a good day? Are you having a decent Friday so far? Hope things are good. There we go. The world fights against us every day and we are just little guys. True. Arguably real. Well, yeah, good morning. Hope you guys are having a decent Friday. Did you just call me she? First you called me Uni during the loading screen and now you called me she? Do I look like she Icho? What the? That is the wildest mistake to be made ever. Huh? Who? Amazing. That's clearly Nene. I'm not Nene either! What the frick? This is so messed up. I don't look like either of them, that's the problem. Can you at least choose one that I kind of look like? I guess that's the problem though, huh? You really can't. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really look like anybody else. I mean, obviously we all have very unique designs, so that's kind of the one thing. But, like, I was about to say at least choose somebody else with brown hair, but I realized that besides, like, Kaya, nobody else has brown hair but me. And Kaya huffs a lot of copium and thinks that her hair is, like... What was it? Didn't she say that she thinks her hair is black? Even though it's not? I don't look like Kaya either, though. What the heck? That's crazy. Anyway, sorry if I am a bit slow, saying things. I, like, just woke up a few minutes ago, and then I was, like, rushing to get Onimama breakfast and, like, other various activities. She thinks her hair is black and that Tomoe's jacket is pink. Okay, now I know she must be trolling. Tomoe's jacket is so obviously red. What? Kaya, please. I mean, she's passed out right now, so... She's doing a big sleep over there. You having coffee? No. I have a little bit of water. That's about it. But yeah, I might sound a little bit eepier than usual today, because, I mean, I slept okay, but I also kept waking up throughout most of the night and, like, into the morning, so I didn't really sleep the most well, but still. I am trying to wake up. Ugh. But my brain is, like, slowly kicking into gear. I'm, like, dusting off the overnight cobwebs. But yeah. So in order to stay on topic today, At least for a little while. Fantasy or realistic? I'm looking at this from the lens of, is it better to make your VTuber super like in fantasy, or if you should choose like a more realistic setting? But this could work for like any type of writing, essentially. Is it better to like choose a fantasy and like build the entire world yourself, or is it better to like set your story, your lore, your whatever in like the real world and do something a little bit more grounded? I think in terms of like VTubers, at least, I find that people tend to lean more fantastical. It's actually a lot like less common to find somebody being just an ordinary human. There's usually something going on, whether they're like a human who was like isekai'd or a human who has like magical powers or something like that. It is very rare that you'll actually find someone be like just a straight up human. VTubers are often an escape from the real world, so fantasy makes sense. I mean, yes, but like, I do think that there's still value in being a character that's a little bit more realistic. Out of just like some normal office lady VTubers, that's fair. Can't go wrong with a few OLs. I mean, this isn't to say there aren't like just ordinary VTubers, like, who are just some person. I just think it's a lot less common. As we've discussed before, a lot of VTubers tend to go for the reverse isekai scenario, where, like, they come from a fantasy world, and then get isekai'd into, like, the modern world, and then they discover VTubing. And then they play Minecraft for 6 hours a day. But, like, I don't know. I do think that there's also value in just, like, being a realistic character. Well, okay, realistic in the sense that, like, there's nothing super fantastical. Like, you're not necessarily a different species. But it's definitely less common. Waiting for the office worker VTuber that is always tired and overworked. By the way, I'm rebranding. Rebranding right now. Overtired, married with 2 kids and a lot of bills to pay. Honestly, you guys are right. I would also member her. The minute those memberships open. The minute those Akasupas are available. It's okay, queen. Get monetization enabled. I'm ready. It's easier to relate to? Are we talking about the realistic characters? I suppose it's true. I think if we look at setting as well, like in I can't talk. Sorry. Like I said, brain is trying to dust off its nighttime cobwebs. If we look at setting, there is a reason a lot of people will like reverse isekai, and they'll be like fantastical characters set in the modern world. There's something kind of funny about seeing the reverse. Obviously, like, a human going to a fantasy world is still pretty cool. But seeing the reverse, I think, is arguably, while still less common, it's also just, like, a little bit more silly. There's something kind of funnier about, like, demons or angels or what have you having to adjust to the modern era, depending on how much you, like, stick to your characterization. So there is a little bit of value of being a fantastical character who gets put into a realistic setting. But I kind of like it, too, when, like, super real, down-to-earth characters get sent to, like, a high fantasy, like, full of nonsense universe. Big fan of characters coming from a mythical realm and just having to get a normal job. That's why I love Hataraku Mao-sama so much. It was the first of that genre that I ever watched. Obviously, there might have been others that came before it. But I think that Hataraku Mao-sama really put that genre kind of on the map in a way, because a lot of people loved that anime. And it was pretty good. I liked it quite a bit. The only thing I didn't like was the light novels. Wasn't a big fan of the light novels. I don't really, I guess I won't talk about spoilers in case people care about spoilers, but, was not a fan of how the light novels decided to end. Was not really a fan of the direction that it took. Didn't vibe with that. But that's just me. That's just me and how I am. I feel like if you know me, you might know what I'm talking about, even though I'm not going into details. But yeah. Anyways, I think that Mao-sama did a really good job of kind of introducing that concept to audiences, because it was like the first of its kind, at least that I watched, that had that sort of premise to it. Fantasy situation with a modern twist. Oni with instant noodles. Sake flavored noodles? What? Strange. That can't be a real thing, can it? Working in whatever the social worker job anime is too. I do remember working. I liked working a lot. Been a while since I watched it though. I remember it being really good. But yeah, I could see too, like anime that focus on like maid cafes, or like characters like working. I think of Wotakoi when I think of characters that are like working, but then they also just have like these, you know, otaku lifestyles. I liked what Dragon Maid did as well. They're so over the top powerful, but all just want to live semi-normal lives. That's fair. I didn't really like Dragon Maid, but like looking at it from like the overall narrative lens, it does kind of make sense. Reverse Isekai I enjoyed is about a female knight in a world with swords and magic coming to modern Japan, the modern Japan countryside, and living a slow life. Huh. That sounds kind of cute. I like it. But yeah, I think that reverse isekai is popular because it allows, you know, for the VTubers who have to have a reason why they became VTubers. I do think that there's value in taking their high fantasy character and like smacking them into the real world, or, you know, going back to our previous discussions, smacking them into virtual Japan. Or like virtual wherever, virtual Earth, where they can still technically like bend the rules, but it's still like set on Earth. There's definitely value in telling those kinds of stories, I think. But like for me, I do still like set myself within Onigashima, so I do a lot of world building for Onigashima. And then whenever I tell stories, you know, it's about Onigashima too. I'd say a similar series with that sort of premise is Hamefura, where after saving herself, she is just trying to adjust her life in the game. I mean, isn't the whole point that she still has to avoid all of the flags? Like, there's still going to be multiple. It's not like she saves herself once and then she's just done. Like, there's still tons. Like, the whole point is it's like... Like, isn't the whole premise of the show that all of her routes would still lead to doom? Like, she's still kind of, like, screwed either way? Like, she's not necessarily fully saved at any point. At least not within, like, the story being told. But I also didn't finish it. Like, I didn't finish Season 1, and then I didn't watch Season 2 because I didn't finish Season 1. So, I don't know for sure. But I thought that the whole point was that she's constantly going to have to be avoiding the death flags. Those villainous anime... I think I've talked about this before. But like, as much as I like the villainous genre, it's very funny because there actually aren't that many Ultimate games with like a villainous. I don't know where the trope came from. I can't figure out why people think that there are like villainous characters in Ultimate games, because there's usually not. Even in terms of having like a rival, there isn't really rivals usually. You're usually like the only girl that interacts with the boys. Unless they have, like, close childhood friends or something. Or, like, sisters. So it's very interesting to me that, a lot of these... I got reincarnated as the villainess in my Otome. I'm just like, okay, which... like, the singular Otome that has a villainess? Like, there just really isn't that many. Usually if there's another girl character, that girl character is very supportive of the heroine. She'll be, like, the heroine's bestie. So that was always something I found interesting about, like, that kind of genre, like, that subsect of isekai. Even though I love it. Like, I love seeing, reincarnated as the villainous type stories. It's just, like, there's not usually a villainess in Otome games. Are there, like... Those of you that play, like, other types of dating sims, I guess, are there, like, villains or, like, villainous rivals in those, too? Because I can't really think of any like that, either. Maybe they're the first of their kind? Maybe? I don't know. Not really in Galget? I feel like villainesses are more of a thing in web novels than Ultimate games. I think that's true too. I think it's definitely more of a web novel experience or like a other media experience. It's very, very rare to see it in Ultimate games. Like, the only Ultimate game I can think of that actually has, like, a character who could be considered a villainess would be Rika in Amnesia. And, like, even then... My favorite spin-off of the genre is one I read where she got reincarnated, but she read too many Ultimate villainous stories and couldn't remember which it was. That's kind of funny. Sometimes I can't put names on them, but there are certainly characters like that. Of course, most of the time they are romance options, and it's hilariously stupid. But yeah, I personally think you're more likely to see, like, a villainous character in, like, an anime, maybe? Less so than an Ultimate. I think Ultimate games are usually just, like, women supporting women. They're like, yes, queen, go get your man. I can think of games with romantic routes that have villains, but they're not villainous towards the romance. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. Like, they're just evil for other reasons. It's like not necessarily like someone who's trying to steal one of the guys. Usually, like, because in a lot of these villainous anime, it's set in like the Regency era, right? So it's like royalty, like lords and ladies and things like that, or like princesses or whatever. Like, usually the villainess is the fiance of one of the love interests, right? Or like whoever's considered the like main or like canon love interest. And then the whole thing is like that the heroine is going to come in and like convince him that the villainess is a jerk and that he should dump her to go be with the heroine. If anything, I always found... I know that this is kind of the point, but they always kind of paint, like, the heroines as the actual villains, and it's like... I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like, I would turn into a villain, too, if somebody tried to steal my partner. Like, what? That's crazy. I don't understand how we're supposed to, like, see those particular routes as, like, justified. Anyway, this is a very random ode to my tangent. We're still kind of on topic, though, so I guess it's fine. But, like... Now that I think about it, all villainous isekai things are technically related to them reading an otome rather than playing a game. False. Incorrect. Most of the villainous things that I have seen have been related to them playing games. Like, explicitly, like, I played a game and then something happened and I died and I ended up in said game. You do that for us? Like, become a villainous, because somebody tried to take you away from me? I mean, I guess? But also, at least within the context of, like, this universe, I do not consider myself that, like, vice grip upon the Namadachi. I like having you guys here, and I would prefer that you stay with me, but, like, if you have other favorites or, like, other people that you like to hang out with or whatever, I'm not gonna be like, you can't, only me, because that's silly. Mine were all them reading a book or web novel. At least for me, it was always them, like, explicitly playing games. Of the examples I'm thinking of in my head, like, they explicitly talk about how it was, like, a game that they played. That they, like, mastered or were, like, super obsessed with right before they died or something. No, please, I need to procrastinate for a bit. No. No leave. Only stay. There'll be no leaving. I'm just kidding, you can leave if you have to. Anyway, trying to get back on topic a little. I guess the thing too, though, like if we go based on my thumbnail, for example, I chose a... I chose a realistic sketch of a dog, and I chose, like, a fantasy dog, in the sense of, like, even when it comes to just, like, choosing a characterization, like, for example, if I were a dog girl, would I want to specifically be, like, a super realistic dog girl, or would I choose to make it more fantasy-oriented, right? Like, would I come from, like, a entire world where, like, everybody is, like, a dog-human hybrid? Would I be, like, a realistic dog breed? Would I be a fantasy dog breed? Like, it's kind of like that sort of thing. You can still make those sorts of choices, even with something that's not necessarily, like, inherently fantastical. Like, obviously, if you are something like an angel or something like an elf or something like that, that is inherently, like, fantasy, kinda. But, like, if we go with something a little bit more realistic, obviously, dog girls are not necessarily realistic, but you can kind of make them more realistic by by, like, making it, like, a realistic dog breed, or choosing, like, a fantasy dog breed. Or, like, choosing to come from a world where, like, it's more, common for there to be, like, hybrids and things like that. Or you could be, an experiment in, like, modern-day virtual Tokyo or wherever you are. Would you be just a Nekomimi character or a fantasy character based on something mythical? I mean, sort of. That's also partially true, but I'm just thinking of, like, would you have yourself come from a world where it's, like, a fantasy where everybody is a hybrid, or would you be, like, a experiment in the real world that was successful or something? I guess that needs more sci-fi. But I'm trying to think of, like, ways that you could still be set in, like, the existing, like, everyday Earth while still being a Kemono Mimi character. Because if you were set in, like, realistic Earth, then you would probably be crossed with, like, an actual dog species. Versus if you were in a fantasy, there's a chance that you could be, like, a species of dog that's, like, extinct in our world, or, like, a fantasy dog. I need an excuse to write my new novel. The fact that you have to write it. That's your excuse, the fact that you have to write something. If you want to have a new novel, then you should just write it. I know it can be difficult to just start writing something sometimes, but the hardest part is to start, but once you start, it'll become a lot easier. And something I always say as well, if you don't necessarily want to start writing from the beginning, you don't have to write the very beginning scenes. You can just choose whatever's taking your attention first. Like, whatever draws you to the initial story in your head. Write that part out first, because it's the part you're actively thinking about. And then you can go back and either add things to the beginning, or you can, like, start talking about what happens after that scene. And then the story will kind of start unfolding from there. Also find a website to self-publish. I mean, Amazon doesn't really do too many difficult checks. There are tons of people who self-publish through Amazon, so it's not that difficult. Or you could be one of those people that writes, like, web novels and you put it on, like, Wattpad or, like, AO3 or something. Fantasy-wise, I see human-animal hybrid. Reality-wise, I see people identifying themselves as animals and elves, and that still confuses me. Wattpad. Wattpad is a mixed bag, to be sure. I have definitely seen my share of bad stories on Wattpad, but there are also probably some good ones. I mean, clearly people like Wattpad stories enough that a lot of them become, like, movies and stuff. So there's clearly something going on over there that's good, relatively. Wattpad's still a thing? Indeed it is. I look at it like different levels of fantasy. Is it fantastical but has some roots in reality, or is it full-blown fantasy with no rules that the real world has? I get what you mean. I do think it's possible to have, like, a realistic fantasy. There is, like, a whole genre called realistic fiction and, like, realistic, fantasy where it's, like, set within, like, the real world, but it has fantastical elements to it. Wasn't the Kissing Booth movie series based on something from Wattpad? I think so. And there were a couple other, like, Wattpad stories that became movies as well. Like that one One Direction fanfiction that was on Wattpad became a movie, I believe. I can't remember entirely what it was about. I just remember that they were two characters in college. You sometimes think even with an office job you can still go out and conquer the world because people joke that working at a desk isn't much, but I disagree. No, I mean, I still think you can, yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with holding down a job that's, like, simplistic. I think you can be successful no matter what kind of job you're working. As long as you feel fulfilled, then that job is the right job for you. Now, if you're working that job and you don't like what you're doing and you want to aim for something else, you should be allowed to aim for something else, no matter what that thing is. One Direction fanfic, I'm scared. I really can't remember much about it, besides, like, it was one of those, like, kind of where like they made one of the guys kind of edgy, and he was like also rich at the same time, and then had like I don't remember. I wish I could remember the name of it. All jobs have dignity, and I hate people looking down on lower skilled jobs. We need those people working. Agreed. And some people find a lot of fulfillment from working those jobs. Like, they don't necessarily see it as low level. Or, like, low skill level. Some people get, like, really, really good at those particular jobs because they like it so much. It was called After. Right! After! That's what it was called. Thank you. I am sorry that you had to go into your search bar and type Wattpad fanfic that became movies. I am sorry you had to do that, but also thank you for your service. Yeah, in this house we support trade workers. Real and true. Could never be me. And that's why I support trade workers. People who actually want to be trade workers deserve to, they deserve all of the best. I searched for a review of the book on YouTube that I'd seen. Oh, okay. That's fair. Well, yes, you are correct. It was called After. Search history is safe for now. You could be an expert electrician. No! No! I could never! The stories I wish to publish are more action style, like cowboy genre or modern genre. Do you mean Western? Western or modern? With very little focus on romance. I mean, that's fair. I don't think I could ever... I mean, I probably could. But, like, a lot of the stories that I write tend to have, like, a romance element to them. Whether it's a subplot or whether it's, like, the main focus. That's why I think I'd be pretty good at writing an otome. You have the two prongs on your head to test circuits. No! No! I am not testing circuits with my horns! No, dude, not like this. That's messed up. Nothing wrong with having romance in a story. I know, this is true. I didn't say there's anything wrong with having it or not having it. Sadly, there are people who hate romance in their stories. That's fair. I mean, sometimes the romance does subtract from the overall plot. I do think that there are ways to do it wrong. Romance subplots, if you focus too much on them, or if you try to make the romance subplot take place during, like, a key part of, like, the actual narrative, then that gets kind of annoying. You need to have a balance. Can you please adjust your horns? The TV signal is going bad. No. They're not adjustable. They are stuck on my head. Hanaki, good morning. Welcome in. I actually wrote a first chapter of my fantasy book series I'm writing, and it got 1.3k views. My goodness. Congratulations. That's a big deal, especially for a first chapter. I can get that some people aren't confident in writing romance and would rather just not write it. Indeed, this is also fair. Writing a good romance is very difficult. Most people can write a romance. Whether or not you're writing a good romance is where it gets debatable. Because sometimes your strengths will just lie in the other elements of the story. For me, I've always been kind of good at developing characters and, like, character relationships. So I think that's why I'm pretty good at writing romance stories and that sort of thing. But admittedly, it's everything else that kind of falls to the wayside at times. I can still carry a plot, but... I've written, like, just solid fantasy before, though. Like, fantasy that didn't really have that much of a focus on romance. And that worked pretty well for me. I tend to prefer realistic fiction, though. Especially when it comes to, like, reading it. I like reading more realistic fiction stories. Or, like, magical realism, where it's, like, set within the modern day, but there's, like, magical elements to it. Like, interactions with the fantasy world within, like, the modern day setting. Besides voice packs, would you ever release a short story set within your lore? I do plan to, yes. It's just a matter of figuring out how I'm going to present it. I think I talked about this before, but one of the issues with having it be a short story is I don't really know where I would put it. Like, I don't know how I would release it. Like, being a VTuber is kind of an inherently visual medium, so I feel like making it into a video would probably be smarter. But, like, I am more used to writing, like, stories. Less so scripts. So I'm not entirely sure how I would go about presenting it yet. I'm just trying to figure out the medium. But I do plan to write, like, multiple stories about, me and Onigashima and all of that stuff. Set up a waiting room and read it. That's how authors often do it. I guess so. Maybe. We will see. Need a chapter about Ice Girl. No, you don't. No, you do not. Not true. No, you don't. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's all ideas I've just been kicking around anyway. I need at least a little lore to go with those 24 spicy skebs I ordered. The 24 what? The 24 what now? The who? The what? Anything else occurring in your daily life? Interesting way to phrase the question. Right now? No, not really. The who now and the what where? Yeah, elaborate. What? Do you tend to first self-publish your stories? Honestly, I just kind of write for myself. I've never really considered publishing. I am aware of, like, magazines that exist that I could submit my stories to. I just don't choose to, usually. I'm kind of shy. I don't really submit them anywhere. I just kind of keep them for myself at this point. But I guess if I wanted to, I would just, like, self-publish on, like, a website like AO3 or something. Do you happen to know what the best way would be to find an artist for my book series? Have money. Do not look for free labor. Make sure you have money on hand for whatever it is you want to get from the artist, and then just find artists that have art styles that you like. Search social media for people with open commissions. I don't know. Have it go from there. Sometimes people will also allow you to, like, buy the rights to, like, an art piece they've already finished as well, or, like, a photo that they've taken if you're just looking for, like, some sort of visual. Like, you could often ask a photographer if they're okay with you buying the rights to use that image for your book. The series will have at least 7 or 8 books. Yeah, so have money to be able to pay for all of that. Simple. Some publish on Wattpad and hope a publisher will pick it up. Japanese authors do the same thing with the Let's Be a Novelist, like with the Let's Be a Novelist website. I mean, that's true. I do think a lot of people will self-publish on websites in hopes that somebody will see it, but in my opinion, I don't really think that, how do I word this? I don't really think that, I would necessarily do it with the intention of being noticed. I would probably just publish for the sake of having it out there. If people read it, cool. If people left comments, also cool. I hope to buy the Yuno Hanaki hardbacks one day. Oh, you get the hardback book, huh? That would mean extra longevity. Buy one photo, then rotate it slightly for every subsequent book. So true. By the time you reach book 8, it's upside down. You're so right. Shousetsuka ni Naro is a gold mine. As I said earlier, if you write a web novel on that site and it's an isekai, the likelihood you'll get officially published in an anime adaptation is high. That's kind of crazy to think about. Fascinating. The only weekly manga I'm still following is also originally a webcomic. The author couldn't draw, but his story eventually became a Netflix anime. Don't some magazine and publishers in Japan also hold many events with shorts, and if it did well, might become a series? That's kind of true. They do run, like, campaigns where, like, amateurs can submit work, and they might be featured in, like, a offshoot of their, like, initial, magazine. They'll be in, like, one of the, like, side magazines. This is also true, but that's kind of, like, what I think of when I think about, like, submitting to other places to get published. Like, to certain magazines that, like, have certain genres or, like, certain focuses. It is possible to do. I just, personally, don't really seek it out. But you're not an amateur? Technically I am, because I've never been, like, formally published. I have had things that I've written, like, put onto websites, but not in a sense of being, like, formally published. So in a way, I am still technically a form of amateur. Apply for an ultimate game writer job. You know what needs to be done. Okay, but I don't know if I know enough Japanese to actually write for, like, a full-on ultimate game. I think I would probably only be able to write, like, a localization, which is an entirely different field. Yeah, no, there is a reason I have specifically mentioned that, like, I have never mentioned specific things about what I've written. I do not want you finding it. Literally don't. Please. The passion will be communicated over language barriers. Me with my passion Japanese. Let's go. The lost Yuno AMVs, and they deserve to stay lost. Well, actually, I mean, some of them were bangers. Me and Windows Movie Maker were really out here fanning the flames of all of these different, like, fandoms I made AMVs for. But I'm glad that they are not around still. You do not need to find them. I am glad that they are gone forever. Goodbye. I don't think I can write a series, mainly due to ADHD and easily making me want to do different things or focusing on irrelevant tasks. But writing is fun in general. Hey, as long as you get something done, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Some people take literally years to write novels. Also, that's what, like, the short stories are for. You could write a collection of short stories that it's just, like, whenever you're inspired, you could just write things that take your attention and then just, like, put them in a collection. You could just publish a collection of like, miscellaneous stories. I think that that is possible. Evanescence is Shadow the Hedgehog AMVs. Okay, I will at least give you the clue that I never made a Sonic AMV. Take years to write a novel? Honestly, I think it's better if it takes a long time, because it means that you're, like, really putting a lot of love and care into it. But that's just me. Shadow the Hedgehog had his own official AMVs, nothing could top it. Correct. Also very true. Okay, big stretch. That was a good stretch. Whew. Do not Tuskaru, please. Did YouTube bonk that sentence? If you wrote something before, yes, because I don't see it in the chat. You might have gotten bonked. I don't know. YouTube is weird about what it chooses to bonk. Apologies. Might have to reword it. Don't Tuskaru! I'm just stretching! You guys are weird. Yeah, YouTube is just weird with certain words. I don't know why. I'm sure there's probably some sort of, like, evil person who has used those words for evil before. At least this is a safe space for discussing jump ropes. That was still one of the funniest things. I remember I did an interactive writing once where one side of the page was a person trying to talk to the person on the other page, and the reader was their medium. Unfortunately, it got rained on. Interesting. I don't know if I fully understand. Like, the reader being the medium doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know. It doesn't fully make sense. I like the concept, though. I like the idea of having characters talk to each other through the pages of the novel, but I don't really understand how the reader comes in as, like, a medium. But also it makes me think of that journal from, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Where Harry was able to write to Tom by, like, writing, on the parchment, and then Tom's writing would come back. Very silly. You can't get to the next page if the reader doesn't turn it. So true. But the way I'm envisioning it, I'm seeing, like, the two pages spread out, like, on the book, and you can see the two different, like, writing styles. There was a similar concept I once saw where a page was split in columns to try a similar effect. It was like the old Goosebumps books where you turn a page to make a decision. Oh, okay. That makes sense. A little bit. You could probably make a web app like that. Wouldn't be too hard. Like for a choose your own adventure? I mean, yeah, there are a lot of places that have done stuff like that before. It's just a matter of being able to code, like, branching paths. Shake Magic 8 Ball. Don't think that's the same thing. Pretty sure that is not the same thing. Good morning. Welcome in. I meant for writing and seeing the other person write with a time delay. I mean, you could add, like, a fake time delay for sure. Like, pretend like the person's taking a second to write before replying back. Though that's more of, like, a visual thing. Pretty sure there is a dedicated site for making and hosting Choose Your Own Adventure. Yeah, there is. Isn't that just chatting? No, the idea is that it's, like, fake. Although I guess guess, like, making it a fake chat would be a bit weird because it would be obvious that it's, like, a scripted conversation. I don't know. Like, I get where our heads are at. I'm just kind of thinking about, where... or, like, how it would really work. Think. My brain is still operating so slowly. Wake up, brain! Logistics were weird. I had a better understanding long ago, but it's been years now. That's fair. Maybe you could revisit it, though. If you remember, like, the loose concept, maybe it could be something you revisit now that you are older and wiser. Have you seen examples where chat log formatting is used for character dialogue? In some cases, it's a straight-up image of a smartphone. Yeah! No, I've seen it before. As mediums like texting and, like, online group chats have become more popular, I have noticed it being used more in, like, novels and stuff. I do actually have a novel in, I think in my closet somewhere, that was written, like, almost entirely in chat logs. You see it sometimes in movies. I think Marvel movies did it with text showing up on screen as they type. Yeah, basically. There are a lot of ways to, like, display the visual. It's just a matter of how you want to display it for your story. There's lots of different ways. I still can't believe Yuno is going from 10,000 streams per week to a relatively more normal schedule. We'll barely see her. Don't do that. I know you're, like, joking, but, like, I do feel kind of bad that I'm reducing. I know that it is necessary for the betterment of my other content, but also... I feel bad about it. That makes me think of text between superheroes memes. Yeah. There's that thing going around, too, that's like a, for those of you that play Star Rail, because Star Rail has a, like, texting feature, there is a, like, there's, like, a generator thing going around where you can, like, make your own fake conversations between the Honkai Star Rail characters and, like, use the, like, text chat format. People have been using it for so many memes. I saved it. I also am planning to use it for memes. I think the new schedule can be good for you. Good luck. Thank you! I am hoping that it is good for me. We will see. Do you play Star Rail? I do. Quite actively. It actually killed me inside when I saw that they were doing their, like, live showcase of what the next patch is going to be like today, because I had to prepare for stream. Well, specifically, I was waking up right when the thing started, and then I would be streaming through, like, the latter half of it, so I have to wait now to watch the whole thing. I remember one game where all the dialogue was presented with letters being slipped under a door. It was really eerie because you just had these long waiting periods in between messages. Oh, that's so cool! It's one of the things I love about games is that they have, like, such unique ways of being able to present their stories, all based on, like, what you're able to work with within the program. So cool. What game was that picture from on Twitter? The one with all the boys and you asking for our reactions. That was, Cupid Parasite. Specifically, that was their images from the sequel. Cupid Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling. Because that game introduced a new character, like a new route. Originally, there were 6 love interests, and then for some strange reason, they decided to add another love interest to the sequel game. So, like, even though the main point of the game is that you're supposed to be, like, hanging out with the love interests, like, post their stories, like, post their true ends, we have this random new guy who you, like, can pursue from starting from, like, the end of the first game. It's just, well, not the end of the first game, pursuing, like, in the middle of the first game. So, like, you go back in time, basically, to pursue that character, which is very strange. Which one is the new one? The one on the bottom right. Inter-kawaii text memes have a chance of being hilarious. Honestly, I think that would be very funny, too. I would just have to figure out how to format them. I love the Skittles boys. Reina calling them Skittles was hilarious. I did not expect that. It just, Skittles. I got the notification and I was like, why is Reina talking to me about Skittles? And then I saw that it was a reply to the boys tweet and I was like, amazing. She ain't wrong, though. I don't know. I don't necessarily think they look like Skittles. Skittles was pretty good. I mean, I don't think they look like Skittles, but I could also just be biased because I, you know, I really like them. They are good boys. But yes, that's what they're from. They did look tasty, though. Yes, but I wouldn't have called them Skittles. Maybe closer to Sour Patch Kids? Maybe. I mean, I did explain that the whole premise of Cupid Parasite is that they all have red flags that make them very difficult to pair up with people. So I guess inherently you would kind of see them as like sour, but then you get once you get like closer to their core, you discover that they are quite sweet. I guess. Like, in theory, I could see that working. I think only one of the characters actually fits the true definition of a Sour Patch Kid, though. He's very Sour Patch Kid. Well, that's okay, I still love him. Man. I am devious enough to get Skittles and change the S to an M and put them in a bowl somewhere. I mean, you don't even have to do that. As long as you just mix up the Skittles and the M&Ms and just mix them into one bowl, people are not going to look at the letters. They're just going to take a handful because they're going to be like, ooh, candy. You don't even have to go to the effort to change the letter. People will be dumb enough to just reach their hands into the bowl when they see a bowl of rainbow-colored candy. And then they will get a mouthful of both chocolate and sour. Or I guess not sour. I don't really like Skittles, but they're just kind of like really strong tasting. And then it would mix with the chocolate, and that would be very silly. Mix Skittles and M&Ms, that is true evil. I'm just saying, if you're going to go through the effort of pranking with Skittles versus M&Ms, you might as well just mix it. Not evil enough, tell them it's mixed, but don't mix them and watch them squirm with each bite. Well, that's just gaslighting. That's not inherently... That's not, like, more evil. I do think that the more evil option is to just mix them and not say anything. You want the shock value. I don't think the gaslighting is particularly more evil. I mixed Warheads with other lookalike candy in a jar as a kid. Just put one Skittle in. So it's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's like mostly chocolate, but then at one point you just randomly get like the burst of like tang, and you're just like, what? But I don't know. I also don't think that's very evil either. The real evil is to tell them that there will be candy, but then there's no candy. That's true. The only thing more evil than mixing Skittles and M&Ms is to have an assorted bag of jelly beans. You know, good ones like lime and cherry, and bad ones like vomit and sweaty socks. I see. So you're talking about a bag of Bean Boozled. That's like... That's the whole point of Bean Boozled, yes. The thing with Bean Boozled, right, is that you have M&Ms. My god. The thing with Bean Boozled, right, is that you have a bunch of jelly beans that are all, like, the same colors. Like, there's the two kinds of colors. Like, for example, there's, like, a sky blue one, and it's either, like, a really nice, like, cotton candy flavor, or it's, like, toothpaste, which some people would argue is actually still yummy. But, like, that's kind of the whole point of Bean Boozled. So having the bag of assorted beans, you won't be able to tell. You just kind of have to guess that you're getting the right one. Jelly roulette. Bean roulette, which is even worse. My ultimate nightmare is Bean Boozled, because I don't like beans. And I think that if I had to eat those beans in any capacity, even the ones that are supposedly quote-unquote good flavors, I would die. I would hate it. Never, ever, ever in a million billion years will you get me to do it. Oh, thank you. I'm good. Thanks, though. Unless it's Hiyori, then everyone is a bad one. No, she's correct in this. She's extremely correct in this. Beans themselves are bad. There will be no beans. Do jelly beans affect Oni? Not as strongly as white soybeans. White soybeans are the things that will hurt us the most, but I find that any type of bean makes me miserable. Any bean type makes me miserable. Even fake beans would make you perish? I mean, they wouldn't kill me, but they would kill me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't think that jelly beans counted as beans for Oni purposes. What I'm saying is... you guys are taking me a little bit too literally again. But, like, this is a bit. This is a joke. What I'm trying to say is, white soybeans are the things that would literally kill me. Any other type of bean would not kill me, but I would hate the experience and it would metaphorically kill me. That's why I just avoid all beans. Would toe beans make you perish? Well, I wouldn't eat them, first of all. Second of all, no. Because that's not the same thing as, like, an actual bean. That's just a colloquial term for a paw pad. Don't die, Yuno. Then don't make me eat beans and we're good. If I'm not eating beans, I'm fine. So you'll die inside. Yes, exactly. New stream idea, you go through every bean and list the danger levels like SCBs. SCBs? So true. What about anime girl bean mouths? Those are also fine, because again, can't eat them. Yeah, SC beans. If you took, like, cheese and carved it into a bean shape, does that also cause problems? I mean, it stresses me out, but I could still consume the cheese. My patissier friend on holiday loves to bring Russian roulette-style treats, with one having a random ingredient like wasabi or chili powder from a Reaper chili. Ah, so they are evil. I do like playing games like that, though. There's, like, a whole game that they play on some, like, Japanese variety shows where, like, they'll have a row of things that are, like, all of them taste good except for one. And then people have to guess who got the bad one based on whether or not, based on their reaction. So, like, obviously the point is that you have to keep your cool no matter what you're eating, even if it's the disgusting one. So you have to try your best to keep your cool, and then people have to guess who got the bad one. That's not a friend, that's a nemesis. True. I would never be able to trust that person.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Really enjoying the vibe of the stream. Thank you for the $3. Soiju? Pretty sure that's how you say it. Soiju? Thank you. Thinking about it, I never see warning made in a factory with beans on packaging. You sometimes see it with, like, soybeans. But it's definitely rare. I have very rarely heard of bean allergies because anything can make someone out there allergic. You ate a poisonous bean? That's so... It's so over for you. That's so over. I would hate that. Dang. Yeah, nah, I wouldn't be able to handle that. Stomach pains for days? Ugh. I have been fighting stomach pain for days without consuming beans, and I still hate it. Nah, dude, I'm good. Been there, done that. Boo! 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 We hate that here. wonder what soy milk does to Oni tummy. It gives me tummy ache and it feels icky. I don't like it. Usually if I'm drinking a milk alternative, because I am not lactose. I do not lactose. But if I am drinking a milk alternative, I usually just go for oat milk. Oat milk is good. Oat milk is okay. I also don't mind almond milk. It's just not my first choice. Can Oni eat tofu? No, because it is made from white soybeans. If it's white soybean, it's probably better off for Oni to avoid it entirely. Any other types of beans, while it just kind of gives an ick, it doesn't, like, kill us. Good morning, Hanaki. I thought you loved me. Not like this. I find other milk substitutes too sweet or they taste like skim milk. I don't particularly mind skim milk, so I guess that makes me a bit weird. I've never actually seen an oat. Why did you put oat in quotations as if you don't think it's a real thing? Oats are real. Also, yes, I may not be able to eat tofu, but I will care about it from a distance. Oh, is this oat in the room with us now? You guys cannot gaslight me about the existence of oats. You know, it's an oat believer. What the hell? They're real. Oats are real. Can't drink Mapo tofu. I mean, first of all, I don't think you should be drinking it, period. But second of all, yeah. No tofu. Got oats on the counter? Thanks, man. Name one oat, then. What do you mean? What is going on? When was the last time you saw said oat? In my cupboard, where we have a container of oats. What are you talking about? Curry is a drink? What do you mean by this? That is incorrect. Curry is a stew. That is not a drink. What? I hate this. Are we already trying to gaslight you? When are you not trying to gaslight me is the real question. Are soups a drink? No! Soup is food! But you can complete the action of drinking a soup. It is just not considered a drink. If I put a straw in it, does that make it a Slurpee? No! Slurpees are also frozen! If you put oat milk in oatmeal, is it considered oatmeal? Maybe milk meal? Oatmeal. I guess it'd be closer to oatmeal. I can drink it, it's a drink. Ugh. I vote that it's oatmeal with corruption. I see. I see. Ugh, don't talk about it as chunky liquid. That's disgusting. If you have the best oats ever, are they goats? No. That's not how it works. Oatmeal evolves into oatmeal if it levels up on the Asian power. True! You're so right. Greatest oats of all time? That's not how it works! That would be Gulat. That wouldn't be goat. Ugh. You guys are gonna drive me crazy. Shaking my dang head. Yuno is the goat? I don't know about that. And I feel like you're also only saying it because I have horns. I refuse to believe you mean it in the colloquial sense. Yuno is the goni? I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna go insane. My brain can't take this. My brain's too little. Whenever I see horses getting their food, it's like a mix of oats and other things, but after you see how much a horse eats, no way they can get enough in the wild. I mean, I think they can. Don't they just, like, I mean, okay, I don't know enough about wild horses. I was never really a horse girl. But, like, I assume that horses just, like, graze, you know? Because zebras graze. And they're pretty close to horses, so I assume that horses just graze in the wild too. And the wild is full of grass. Since Yuno has horns and is green, wouldn't a toad make more sense? No! Not all toads have horns! There is a thing called a horned toad, but that doesn't mean that I am a horned toad. What the hell? Horses, if given a chance to choose between a grass with sweeter taste than the other will always pick the sweeter one. I see, I see. Interesting. Suddenly this is becoming about horse facts. You shove sugar cubes into a horse's mouth until it likes you. I mean, true. If you gave me enough sugary products, I also would probably like you. We are not so different, you and I. Me talking to a horse who is just like, what? Wrong order. It was beans to oats to horse food. That's new art commission. Me talking to a horse? That's so dumb. But also very funny. Oh, speaking of art though, after this stream I'm going to be posting an art. Do you remember how earlier in the week, I think I did this earlier in the week, but do you remember how earlier in the week that I mentioned that there was an art piece that was probably going to get finished this week that I would get to post? It's done. I'm gonna get to post it. I don't know if you're ready for it though. I don't know if you're ready for it, is the thing. I don't know if you're ready. That's the thing though, I don't know if you're ready. Shoving sugar cubes in your mouth? What a weird art commission. What makes it even better is that no one will know the context. I don't know how I feel about this. It's certainly a choice. Not ready, but it's fine. I'll simply handle it. Interesting. We'll see if you'll be able to handle it. I just have to figure out a good caption still, is the other problem. I have to figure out a good caption. I had to really rack my brain for the caption I put on the other art that I posted. So I'm going to have to come up with one that's just as good. If not, I'll just perish. I mean, that's fair. Then perish! I'm sure it's got a lot of color contrast. You've been on a theme lately? Eh? What do you mean? We shall endure. I wish you luck. Have you received the PSD of the chibi outfit artwork? Not yet. Not yet. And it makes me kind of sad because I really want it. But not yet. Sometimes they take a little while to check through that email and like get the files, so I will give management time. Your caption should be palish before me. No, that's so silly. That would be too silly. This art is a little bit more serious than that. Only a little bit, though. Which is why I have to think about it. I'll figure it out, though. I got this. I believe. I believe. But I just know you guys are going to be excited about it. Because I'm pretty excited about it. I'm so glad it's finished. Yippee! Always excited for Buno art, as you should be. It's good stuff. I totally don't have a tab for your art tag. Really? That's so cute. But yeah, the art is going to be posted to my art tag, so be ready. Be ready. Really had a good run of art recently. I agree. I am always very grateful. It makes me happy. I save every piece. Every one. Even the silly meme ones. I save them. I totally haven't bookmarked all of it. Suspicious. How suspicious of you? For research? Yes. Research. I'm sure. But no, it's good. It's good. I'm very excited about it. Yippee. I would never have a Yuno art folder. Never. Me? Have Yuno art folder? What? No, why would I do that? That's so silly. Why would I have a folder of really pretty artwork? That'd just be so weird. It's so strange. What? So strange. Closes several folders. You guys are so silly. I don't have a dedicated Yuno art folder. It has to share a folder with the Yuno screenshots. You take screenshots of me? Interesting. I am learning more and more things about you guys every single day. So many new, interesting things. I love it though. I appreciate knowing that you guys like the art as much as I do. I am a big fan of supporting artists, so holding on to the art is good. Screenshots? Nah, that's like so weird. Like, who would do that? But no, it really does mean a lot. You should be supporting the artists. The artists that post art, the people who commission art. Big fan of supporting artists in this house. I love them. Yet another disclaimer, Yuno supports real artists, not beep boop boop ones. This is true. Big fan of supporting Oni singular too. Thank you. I do appreciate your support. But no, that was always something I really wanted to like focus on as a VTuber. I really wanted to be able to encourage and like support artists. One of my big things is that I wanted to be able to inspire people to be creative. So I'm very happy knowing that there are people who like to like draw based on either the silly or even the serious things that I say. Or people who get inspired to like commission artwork too. That's even better because that means that the artists are getting money for their hard work. But no, I think you guys are gonna like this art piece. As soon as I can think up a good caption, it will be posted. I'm gonna post it both on Twitter and on my community tab, so everyone will be able to see it. Everyone has to be able to see it, specifically, because it's really good. I literally, like, pulled it up just now so that I could stare at it. You guys are gonna like it. The people will like it. Seeing it as mandatory? Yes. You will see it. I will make you. I've got my Super Soaker at the ready. You will look at it. The anticipation is killing us. Well, I mean, if you're okay with me being a little bit distracted, I could work on the caption now and post it. I was gonna wait until after stream, but... Yes, ma'am, put the weapon down. It's just a Super Soaker. Scared of a little water. Get the live reaction? That's true. The live reaction would be pretty funny. Fair enough. Okay, let me see if I can figure out a good caption. Well, let me make sure I put the stuff that needs to be in here first. Oh, that's not right. That's not right either. What is this artist handle? I don't remember. Aha. Mm. Yeah, I think I should probably stick to the other one. Okay, so it's this. Let me do this here. Are we doing anything special for our first Yunovember this year? Yunovember? As in, like, are we doing anything special in the month of November? It's also technically not going to be our first, because we had one in... Well, I guess we didn't technically have Yunovember in the first November, but I was here last November for the whole month, because I had debuted in October. Yunovember, though? I don't know. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I am not the greatest at thinking super far ahead, unfortunately. So I do not have much in mind. But maybe we'll think of something. We'll have to see. You in July. That one didn't count. We were still associates. What are we now then? But no, that said, I'm not really planning anything specific. November is still kind of like a busy month. So no solid ideas right now, but maybe we'll think of something. I will have to consider. I also just don't really know what my schedule or like what my life is going to be like at that point. So I can't really guarantee anything. We will see. Maybe this is good? Maybe it's a little bit too extra. Gotta work, have a good day. You too! Good luck with work. You will probably see me again after your work day because I am streaming again later today for Bunny Garden. We'll see how far we can get in Bunny Garden today. I really don't know how much of the game is left. We will see. I think she tolerates us. Yeah. I tolerate you guys. Parentheses, affectionately. Parentheses. Why are you crying about the parentheses? That was me telling you that it was affectionate. Is that not what you wanted? I heard good stuff for Bunny Garden, but I don't have time to watch the stories so far. It's a pretty simple game. I like it. Specifically, I like Miyuka. Blue Woman, my beloved. But, like, I think it's a good game. I do genuinely like it. Parentheses. We love green women around these parts. Yeah, and the green woman loves blue woman. So, that's just how it is. At least it wasn't ellipses or exclamation points. True. X Nami confirmed. In case you didn't remember, Isla and Nami are wives. She-Hulk counts? Isn't She-Hulk still green? Or are you saying that she counts because she's a green woman? You know, taking all the blue women? No! I am not. She-Hulk is purple if we are being consistent. Really? I thought she was also a green woman, but I don't know. I don't know enough about that stuff. It shows. Okay, people who follow on Twitter, you're about to see the art first. It's gonna go to the community tab in a second, but, Twitter users, it's about to go up. I have to wait a whole second. It's so true. Okay. Furiously refreshing. Patience. I'm checking it over for any spelling errors. I don't think there is any, but still. Credit is good. Tag is on. Should be okay. Yeah, I'm making sure that there's no minor spelling mistakes. Alright. It's up. Keep mashing that F5. There you go. Alright, now I have to copy paste it for the YouTube community tab. Ugh. Okay. Hop, 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 hop. Alright, let's copy this. Go over here. Certified Awuka. What? What's the matter with you guys? So silly. Why are you yelling at me? What did I do? I'm just posting artwork. What did I do? Okay, community tab. You have it now, too. You know what you did? Nothing. You know I will cause problems on purpose, Hanaki. Hmm? What? Hmm? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. What? What? Yippee! So remember how I said that there was going to be art from Kome-san in the future? There it is. Did you specify the green streak in your front bangs? It's canonically in my bangs! Like, it has to be there. Also, for the record, for those of you that are freaking out about it, I did get permission from management. Well, okay, specifically, we were looking at this, and Sora was like, I might have to see if this is okay by management standards, and then management said it's fine. So, we're good, right? That means we're fine. We good. Mm-hmm. Here I was trying to have a chill fictitious Friday and lurk. There will be no lurking in this house. I'm glad that you guys like it, and it was funny to see the reactions live. Whoever suggested I post this live, thank you. This was very funny. It has the green streak, it's fine. Losing my mind? Nah, you're normal, right? We're all normal here, right? Just normal, ordinary guys, right? We're all just chilling. Pretty far from normal right now? No, we're normal. We're chill. Strange. I want orthodoxism outside the box. You guys are so funny. I'm glad that you like it. Alright, well, that's Fictitious Friday. I'm glad you guys enjoy the artwork. So, next stream is in about 10 or so hours, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be playing more Bunny Garden. Safe for work because it takes place in the workplace. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, you get it. You get it. But yeah, we'll be playing Bunny Garden later tonight. I look forward to seeing you guys again later. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I hope that you have a good rest of your time zone. And until I see you again, Inotsu! Have fun!